Ever had that moment when you're watching a movie and an actor just completely steals the scene? You're sitting there, totally caught up in what's happening, and suddenly you realize your eyes are only following that one person. Everything they do feels so real. Every little look, every pause, every bit of tension just pulls you in. And you start thinking, wow, this person is seriously good. That's the exact feeling you get when you watch Julia Garner. She has this quiet intensity that creeps up on you. You might know her as the sharp, fearless Ruth Langmore from Ozark or as the cunning, fascinating Anna Delvey in Inventing Anna. But here's the thing a lot of people don't realize: Julia hasn't just stayed in the world of gritty dramas and con artist stories. She's actually built herself quite the resume in horror. And not just any horror. We're talking about the kind of roles where she feels like a weapon in the director's hands. Sometimes she's the vulnerable one you root for. Sometimes she's the mysterious presence that makes you feel uneasy. And other times, you're not even sure what she is until the very end. That's why today, we're going to talk about 5 horror films where Julia Garner shows exactly why she's one of the most magnetic actors working right now. Some of these you might know. Others might surprise you. And by the time we're done, you might have a whole new watch list for your next late-night movie session. Let's start with one that's as haunting as it is heartbreaking, We Are What We Are, from 2013. Now, at first glance, this film feels like a slow, quiet family drama. You've got this religious family living in the countryside, keeping to themselves. Nothing too unusual, right? But little by little, you start to sense that something's off. There's a heaviness in the air. A strange tension in every interaction. And then, you learn the truth. This isn't just any family. They have a tradition. And it's not the kind you share at a Sunday dinner. It's disturbing. It's dark. And it's been passed down for generations. Julia plays Rose Parker, the daughter caught in the middle of it all. She's torn between loyalty to her family and the growing horror of what they're doing. What's amazing here is how Julia doesn't overact. She doesn't need to. Her expressions say everything. That quiet, conflicted look in her eyes tells you she's trapped. And the more you watch, the more you feel that same weight pressing down on you. It's one of those performances that stays with you long after the credits roll. Now, let's switch to something completely different, Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, from 2014. This isn't your typical horror movie. It's based on a graphic novel, so the style is intense, lots of shadows, sharp contrasts, and that gritty, dreamlike feeling where reality is twisted. The violence is stylized, almost surreal, but it still feels dangerous. Julia's role here isn't huge, but it's sharp. Even in a short appearance, she stands out. There's something about the way she holds herself on screen, like every movement has purpose. It's a reminder that even in a world full of exaggerated characters and over-the-top visuals, Julia can still ground a scene and make it feel real. Then we have The Last Exorcism Part 2, also from 2013. Now, I'm going to be honest, this one divides people. Some call it a cult favorite, others see it as a guilty pleasure. But if you're into possession stories, eerie visions, and that constant sense that something's lurking just out of sight, this will scratch that itch. Julia's role isn't front and center here, but she adds an extra layer to the atmosphere. There's something unsettling about her presence. It's the kind of performance where even if she's not speaking, you're watching her, wondering what's going to happen next. And that's part of the magic. Next up is Americana from 2016. Now, this one. I'd bet most people haven't seen it. It's a bit of a hidden gem. It's not just horror, it's a mix of thriller and psychological tension. Julia plays Kelly, and the beauty of this performance is how it keeps you guessing. You can't quite figure her out. One minute, she seems trustworthy. The next, you're not so sure. And in a film like this, that's exactly what you want, that constant second-guessing, that feeling that the truth is always just out of reach. It's the kind of role where you find yourself watching closely, searching for clues in every line and every glance. And then, we have The Assistant from 2020. Now, some of you might be thinking, wait, that's not horror. And technically, you're right, there's no supernatural element here, no blood, no jump scares. But this is psychological horror at its finest. Instead of monsters or ghosts, the terror comes from something much closer to reality, the quiet dread of working in a toxic, abusive environment where the power dynamics are crushing. Julia plays the assistant to a powerful entertainment executive. The whole film unfolds over the course of one day, and what's brilliant is how much is left unsaid. You never see the abuse directly. You feel it through the little details, the silences, the glances, the way Julia's character shrinks just a little more as the day goes on. What makes her performance so chilling is its restraint. She never raises her voice. She never delivers some big, dramatic monologue. Instead, she lets the smallest shifts in expression tell the story. And that's scarier than any jump scare, because it feels so real. It's the kind of horror that sticks with you because you know things like this happen in real life. Now, here's something worth pointing out. Part of what makes Julia Garner so good in horror is that she doesn't lean into the clichés. She doesn't overplay fear. She doesn't rely on screaming or exaggerated reactions. She uses stillness. She uses pauses. She makes you lean in, makes you wonder what's going on in her head. That's a skill a lot of great horror actors have, and Julia has it in spades. Film critics often talk about how the scariest performances are the ones where you can't quite read the character. Where you're not sure if they're safe or dangerous. Julia has that down perfectly. And in horror, that's gold. Now, if you're wondering where to find these films, We Are What We Are and The Last Exorcism Part 2 are both streaming on several platforms right now, so they're easy to track down. The others might take a little more effort, maybe a digital rental, maybe a second-hand DVD hunt, but honestly, they're worth the search. If you're a fan of Julia or just love horror that's more than cheap jump scares, these are all must-watches. So, let me ask you, which one of these surprised you the most? Was there a movie here you didn't know Julia Garner was in? Or maybe you've seen one and you think it's underrated? I'd love to hear what you think, so drop your thoughts in the comments. And while you're here, if you love discovering these kinds of hidden roles and surprising performances, you should check out my other video on 10 actors who secretly starred in horror before they were famous. You'd be shocked at some of the names on that list. If you enjoyed this video, a quick like and a subscribe would mean a lot. It helps more than you know. And we've got plenty more deep dives like this coming, so stick around. Because let's be honest, there's something fun about finding out your favorite actor has a darker, spookier side. It makes you see them in a whole new way. And with Julia Garner, that darker side? It's unforgettable.